Hello, my lovely Pangians. Guess who's back? Yes, it's me. And so sorry, I know it's been a minute, but I've been going through my mental states and understanding and processing, analysing, and trying to get closer to God on the situations that I'm in and asking what He really wants for me, or she. But this is what I wanted to discuss is bad situations. I'm not saying I'm in a bad situation. I'm just saying that when people are going through bad situations and what it triggers and how people react and the things they go through, like I've been analysing that. I've come across a few situations lately where other people are in bad situations, like really bad situations, and they don't kind of understand how their actions would put them, how can I put it? It would put them in a position where they don't really want to be in, you know? And how can I put this? It's like, all right, so if you find yourself in a bad situation, all right, whatever action you put yourself through to get into it, you're now in it. So once you're now in the situation, you have to kind of understand and ask yourself, why am I in this situation? What was the aggravating circumstances to why, or maybe not aggravating circumstances, that might be the wrong terminology. It might be more like the the agitating behavior that has put you into this, like the miscommunication or the misfire or the wrong decision made to put yourself into this situation, right? Anyway, you found yourself in the situation, and now you need to understand, what is it that God is trying to show me? Is this a lesson? Is this sent from the devil? Is, like, not literally from the devil, but is it for my highest good or my lowest good? And what is it that I'm supposed to learn? Because you have to understand, in every bad situation, in every cloud, there's a silver lining. There is something, and there's something, even if it is a bad thing and you don't gain nothing monetarily or anything like that, it might be that you just needed to learn a certain lesson. God tends to put hurdles in our way to slow us down before we could reach where He asks us or is predestined for us to go. But also for the fact of, we need to learn certain lessons. In the Bible, I can't tell you the exact scripture, but there is sorry, I'm mumbling because I'm getting excitable. But there was a part where He asks a I can't remember whether it's the Israelites. Anyway, He asks a group of them to go around the mountain 7 times. But He never told them it was 7 times. He just told them to keep going round the mountain until He tells them to stop. And even when, sorry, this was Jesus. And when, no, one of the disciples, I need to reread my Bible, it's bad. But basically, long story short, they didn't know how many times they were going to have to go around this situation, and they had to go around it 7 times, but never got told how many times. So at each and every single time that they were coming back to Him, they would say, do we have to go again? Can we go over the mountain? Can we now get, and because it was to get land that God had promised them, right? So they had to keep going around, just not knowing the uncertainty of it all, the hard work, the effort, right? And they had to go and continue doing it. Eventually, when they got to go, they were more than happy, but there was something they had to learn. They had to learn patience, dedication, hard work, drive. The not understanding, the undecisiveness and unknowing the not knowing of it all. And I've learned over time that when you go through a bad situation, it's like that. It's like another bad situation, which is the mountain. And you've now got to understand, and the silver lining is the lesson. You know, you had to learn that if you didn't make that wrong decision, you wouldn't have become the person that you are today, because you wouldn't have learned the hard work you had to put in and time and effort, and actually allow your mind to compute where you went wrong and learn how to go around it so you never have to do it again. These are things that we all need to think about, and we all need to implement. And also, we blame ourselves for putting ourselves in a bad situation, and it is obviously something you have to kind of come to an understanding with and forgive yourself for, because the anger within oneself that can cause so much more detrimental times and situations, we have to negate that. And the only way you can negate that is by forgiving yourself and moving on from the situation. Because if you can't move on and you allow yourself to be stagnated forever, then there will come a point where you'll never be able to prosper, because you're always living out of a negative state and out of a guilt mindset. And a guilt mindset doesn't cause or create beautiful things. It just causes more degradation and dehumanization. So it gets to a point where we have to forgive ourselves. If you've ever cheated on someone or broken up with someone and you feel bad about it or anything like that, you have to allow yourself to forgive yourself, because if you don't, then the whole world, it's not just me, like we will all continuously be in that guilt and shame mindset, and we'll never be able to heal, ever. Like, there's certain things you can't be forgiven for, you know, rape, murders, all them things there, but because you've taken things from people that they can never get back. But it comes to a point where you have to forgive yourself and be understanding that you're a human being in this life and you're learning. No matter how old you are, we all learn in different ways at different times, and we all go through different things at different times and stages of our lives. So if we have to find compassion and empathy for our individual people and that are around us to be able to allow the world to prosper. Because if I can't forgive you and you can't forgive me, we'll always be on this. And if I'm always living in my guilt and my shame, then how can I, as an individual, be at peace with you and maybe the things that you've gone through with your guilt and shame? We have to forgive ourselves. If I forgive myself of my guilt and shame, and you forgive yourself of your guilt and shame, then we can start on a clean plane and just progress in peace, prosperity, love and kindness. You know, these are things that if we don't drum these things into our fundamentals, our principalities and our moralities, and practice them daily as a collective, not just as an individual, but as we have to start like teaching each other this stuff and allowing each other to be in such a thing and an emotion and a time, then as a collective we'll never elevate, because we're just always inundated with negativity in the news, in the media, in the music, and it's just programming our minds to be in a place where we're always in an anxiety, guilt, shame-ridden mindset, and always trying to defend ourselves instead of being in a peace, loving, kind, caring and accepting mindset, which we all want to be. We all want to be accepted. We all want to be cared for. We all want to be kind. We want to be around people that are kind to us. So it gets to a point where if we can't figure these things out and understand the methodology of the mindset we need to be in, we will never, as a collective, as a whole society, there'll never be utopia, because there's always going to be things that frustrate us and irritate us, and then we'll act out as the human beings that we are, and then do silly things, and then be in this anger, guilt, shame, resentment state. We have to all come out of that. We all have to forgive ourselves and elevate and prosper and become better individuals than to sit here and keep demeaning each other and dehumanizing each other through negative slander and comments and frustrations. And then on another note, if someone treats you bad, you have to understand sometimes that is because of their own individual things that they've gone through, whether it's situations or family or friends. You have to get that how someone else treats you is a reflection of how they feel in the inside. They are fully not in, how can I put it? Most of the time we run away from ourselves, from situations. I do it. I'm guilty of it. Sometimes it takes me a minute to understand. I'm running from myself. I need to face myself, and it takes me an even longer minute to understand that I need to have more patience with myself and others around me. Which, if I have to feel like that, others surely do. We all surely have to have a little bit more patience and have a bit more understanding and forgiveness for ourselves and others. So when you find yourself in a bad situation, and initially anger can put you in a bad place because no one likes to be put in a bad situation. That's why it triggers the anger or fear response, because of the uncertainty. And it's a human innate characteristic or behavioral trait, however you want to put it. They say fear means to forget everything and run, or to face everything and rise. So we need to rise now. With the whole world has been in a collective state of fear, specifically for the past 2 years, which is unnecessary and not needed. We now need to elevate back into the forget everything and rise. Forget all this nonsense and rise. Rise to be more kinder individuals, to be more caring, more understanding, forgiving. You know, you may not believe in the Bible, but the principalities of it is fundamentally how to live civilly. Love thy neighbor as you'd be loved unto yourself. You know, forgiveness. We all want those things. We all want care and kindness and empathy. Like I know I keep reiterating what I'm saying, but it's something I feel so strongly about around and about, because at the end of the day, that's my field. I like to help people and help themselves out of situations mentally into a place where they can be a bit more empathetic and understanding, and get to a place where they can teach the people around them how to be better off. Not just financially, or physically, but mentally too, because it's our vessel, this whole life thing. It encapsulates all of these things: your mental health, your physical health, your habits, your eating habits, your behavioral habits, your financial habits, all these external factors. And most people tend to just try and focus on one. As if they go gym and their gym bars, and things are like, other than being able to pay their certain living things, they're very content with that. That's just one aspect of a whole individual that has how many layers and different things they have to be catering to. And we have to all understand these things and understand that growing up isn't easy. And these things are the things that we have to factor in and have a thinking, a level-minded time to think about these things. Because if not, then when do we ever get our mindsets right, to get our bodies aligned with the things we want for society? We all want these things, no matter what background you come from. We want unity, peace, prosperity, abundance, care, no matter what community you're in. We all want love, and it's something we individually have to strive for as well as a collective. It can't just be one, and it can't just be everyone doing one thing and just a small group of people doing another. We all have to unite and have compromising tactics where we can live amicably. You know, it's like co-parenting. Live amicably. That's how you live amicably. Just like going to work, you have to be amicable. All these things. Amicability isn't just one thing, if that's even a word, I'm not sure. But it isn't just one aspect like co-parenting or living with your parents. It's in every aspect of your life. These things all go hand in hand and also have a domino effect. You can't be financially okay but then not be okay in your relationships. It doesn't work. You can't be a CEO of a company and talk to your staff like they're the shit on your shoe and then expect quality work. It just doesn't work that way. That's not like every individual and then also you can't be a parent and be neglectful and expect your child to love you, or you can't be financially dependent on your partner and then expect them to have endless patience with you. I don't know how to explain it. There's all these things go hand in hand and coexist and have a domino effect on the other things in your life. So that's what I wanted to discuss so far about bad situations and how to maybe think like, and some thinking topics on it. I just want people to think about these things because the more you ruminate on stuff, the more you can develop your own mindset on it. And maybe if we all can be in somewhat of a same mindset, we can all elevate the collective. That is my point. That's what I'm trying to come across to other people and try and show other people to do, because these are things that most people don't really tend to think about, and if they do, they probably don't voice them or can't compute how we could get to that, but we can get there. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this to a friend, please. And I'll come back shortly with probably something else. See you soon.